शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Praladadayine Hiranyakashi Purvakshah Hiranyakashi Purvakshah Shilatam Kanakalaye Shilatam Kanakalaye Hito Narsimho Parato Narsimho Hito Narsimho Parato Narsimho Yeto yami tato narsimho Yeto yami tato narsimha Bahi narsimho hridaye narsimho Bahi narsimha hridaye narsimha Narasimha madim charanam prapate Narasimha madim charanam prapade Tavakar Kamalavareenakam Adbhuta Shingam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhrangam Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Tavakar Kamalavareenakam Adbhuta Shingam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhrangam Keshavadita नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमल वरेणाकाम अद्भुत शृंगाम दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृंगाम केशवदीत नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमल वरेणाकाम अद्भुत शृंगाम दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृंगाम केशवदीता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय प्रहलाद महाराज 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 जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल 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 नरसिंह भगवान की जय जय
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रभुपादाचार्य सद्गुरु श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपाद की
जय।
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रभुपादाचार्य सद्गुरु श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती श्रीला प्रभुपाद की
जय।
नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की
जय।
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की
जय।
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन धाम की
जय।
वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की
जय।
मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की
जय।
पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की
जय।
गंगामय यमुनामय की
जय।
भक्ति देवी की
जय।
तुलसी महारानी की
जय।
हरिनाम संकीर्तन की
जय।
सामवेद भक्त वृंद की
जय।
ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees
हरे कृष्ण
all glories to assembled devotees
हरे कृष्ण
all glories to assembled devotees
हरे
all
कृष्ण
glories all glories all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga
हरि बोल हरि बोल
Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to the temple program. Please have a seat. We're now going to get started with the Vedic discourse. We generally do this about the same time, actually.
Yeah.
Not much of a difference. So we're going to have our very own Adishyam Prabhu, His Grace Adishyam Prabhu, talk about the benefits of congregational chanting, which is basically chanting along with devotees. Over to you, Prabhu. Welcome.
So, just start with the discourse, right? We'll do Kirtan in the end? Or
We'll do Kirtan at the end,
Hare Krishna, welcome. Normally we do a Kirtan now, but we're going to do an extended Kirtan after the class, so we'll get started with the class. Generally, so after we do Aarti, before we start the class, we chant some pranam mantras. So you're new, so you can just follow along. You may not be able to repeat them, but please just focus and listen. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupana Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. One of the biggest boons that Srila Prabhupada gave was this Nagar Sankirtan, because you would have, it's a very popular image or video of ISKCON that everybody goes on the streets and they chant and you can hear the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? And that became so much so that everybody started calling ISKCON the Hare Krishnas, right? Something that is so easily accessible we may not know its importance, so this is an opportunity for us to think about why are we doing Sankirtan, what's the value of it. So we'll first start with what is Sankirtan, right? So Mataji touched on it briefly, but it is congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is, everybody comes together and in a group you chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Generally you sing it with the tune, right? Today we'll look at what it is about this process that makes it so effective. So I'll start off, I'll have a lot of scriptural references and then that will primarily be the focus. So this is from Shri Krishna Sandarbha by Jiva Goswami. This is from Anucheda 82. Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His holy names, qualities and pastimes are sublime and unequaled. So first, over the past few weeks, we've discussed various topics, and as we explored, we started off with saying that anything that we do materially and any pleasure that we get materially, that is limited. It is finite and it is temporary, right? If you can, no matter what it is that is your favorite thing, if you do it 50 times back to back, you will get tired of it, right? There is no doubt. at least your pleasure will keep reducing. Even if it is a brand new car was your goal, you got it, yeah, initially you may be happy with it, but once repairs start kicking in or once you see the insurance bill going up, you may not be as happy, right? So you can take anything and you will see that it is finite and it is temporary. So where do we look for something more permanent is what we are going to talk about today, right? We've talked about the path of bhakti gives more permanence, because the path of bhakti relates to the spirit soul that is in our body, right? And again, at the risk of repeating, we are not this body, right? Our body looked very different 5 years ago, and our body looks very different now. Body has undergone so many changes. Medical science says every cell in our body changes every 7 years. So then if my body is completely different, am I completely different? No, right? My identity remains the same. So I have to be something other than this body, and that the scriptures explain is the spirit soul that is inside our body. We call it Atma. That is the spirit soul. Body is temporary, so anything to do with this body will have only temporary pleasure. Anything to do with the soul will be permanent. And the scriptures explain, or our acharyas also explain, that when you try to mix oil and water, how successful will you be? Hardly, right? Oil and water do not mix. So when we try to get pleasure from material things, we are trying to mix spirit and matter. They will never mix. No matter what we do, the spirit and matter will never have that particular relationship or connect with another spirit, right? So that spiritual level connection, the ultimate connection at the spiritual level, is done with the Supreme Lord, who is the Supreme Spirit Soul. So that Supreme Lord, Jiva Goswami is explaining, is Lord Sri Krishna. Now, this is just that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. I can talk about it for a long time. If you have more questions, we can go deeper into that particular topic. But even within the various Vishnu Tattvas who are at the same level as Lord Sri Krishna, they're from a plenary portion or the same plane, the names are also distinct. So there is no other holy name of the Lord that is equal to the name of Krishna. And this is confirmed in Shri Krishna Stotra Shatanama Stotra, which is found in the Brahmanda Puran, names of the Supreme Lord. It is stated in the Kalisantarana Upanishad also. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. These 16 names composed of 32 syllables are the only means to counteract the evil effects of Kali Yuga. In all Vedas, it is observed that to cross the ocean of nescience, there is no alternative to the chanting of this holy name. So, we talked about congregational chanting, we touched briefly on why Krishna's name, and we saw that it is the ultimate benefit for this age of Kali. Many of these statements, typically if you are listening for the first time or you have not heard enough, each one of them could be unacceptable or controversial, or you may want to go deeper into. So I'll just make this statement that anything, it is for it to be a one-directional thing that I say and you have to listen and go. In fact, I don't want you to do that, because then if somebody comes in my place and says something different, you will listen to that and go, and that has no effect, right? Bhakti is not meant to be through blind faith. It is meant to be understood, analyzed, and it is an experiential faith. So if you have questions, I'll have a section in the end and we can dive deeper into. Feel free to raise questions, which is highly encouraged. Okay. Now, when we think about the Lord's name and having this much impact, we are all conditioned to this whole concept of no pain, no gain, right? We think, oh, something must be really complex. This is the New Year is the time where everybody looks at financial goals and everything. So you see people will say, oh, there is this brand new way. This is a very complex way of making money quickly, right? But the proper financial advisors will tell you it is more of a long-term play. You do the basics right and you do it consistently, you will see the result, right? And this is very similar, right? The scriptures, even though people may say there are so many other methods, scriptures also say there are so many other methods to achieve spiritual objectives. Scriptures emphasize chanting. So this is from Brahma Vaivarta Puran. Therefore, in Kali Yuga, activities such as penance, yoga, study of the Vedas and sacrifices cannot be properly performed, even by those who are highly competent. Do we agree? Is it easy to do your meditation and penance in a forest for a long time? How about studying the Vedas? How about doing big sacrifices like they used to? None of these are possible in this day and age. There are very few qualified priests who can even do that. Even if there are, pure ingredients are difficult to come by. So there are so many challenges for any of these methods, right? So if we agree, then the logical question should be, what should we do then if we cannot do all these? So the Brahma Vaivarta Puran continues, Sankirtana, appearing amidst the people of Kali Yuga, who are naturally meek, easily confers upon them all results derived from the practices prominent in other yugas, and thus makes them perfect. That is a big mercy, right? For this reason, the Lord is especially pleased in Kali Yuga only by Sankirtana. And this is as stated in the Chaturmasya Mahatmya of the Skanda Puran. In this world, singing about Lord Hari is the best penance. In Kali Yuga especially, one should perform Kirtana for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu. I'm going to continue a couple of more references and then touch on it briefly. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 3, verse 52. What is attained in Satya Yuga by meditating on Lord Vishnu, and in Treta Yuga by propitiating him with elaborate sacrifices, and in Dwapara Yuga by the worship of the deity, is attained in Kali Yuga by singing about Lord Hari. Vishnu Puran 6:2-17. Whatever one achieves in Satya Yuga by meditation, in Treta Yuga by the performance of sacrifices, and in Dwapara Yuga by worship of the deity, is attained in Kali Yuga by singing about Lord Keshava. So you can see this is not a statement that is made very lightly. This statement is backed up by so many references. I quoted from at least 3-4 different Puranas and a couple of commentaries from Acharyas, and we'll continue to see more and more of that, right? It is universally accepted that Kali Yuga is the worst age, right, of the four. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the worst because the sinful effects are very high. And our competence is very low as well, right? And so the Lord, in His great mercy, has given us the easiest way to be delivered from this situation of repeated cycles of birth and death. As a soul that is covered in this body, we suffer a lot. Most of them are due to the effects of on this body. Suffering in this material world, the only way possible is by completely. Because materially anything has very limited results, right? There are people who have accumulated billions and billions of dollars and still don't find pleasure. There are people who have been extremely fit, their body is in tip-top condition, and still they find some misery or something else. So whatever it is, wealth, beauty, fame, anything you take, no matter how much of that you have, you will not find pleasure. The only way is to come out of this body. But that is a very difficult process, right? In other yugas, that process takes years, right? For example, you would have seen from different stories in the scriptures, the Rishi Munis used to meditate for tens and hundreds of years, right? That is not possible. We don't even have that much lifetime. So for this benefit of Kali Yuga, can you do Harinam Sankirtan and in a very short time frame get the same result as we had in the other yugas. Honestly, it cannot get any easier than that, right? So in Skanda Puran, it continues. Not just that it is easier, Skanda Puran says, the chanting of the holy names is not dependent upon any particular place, time, condition or purity of the heart. Rather, it is fully independent and awards the results desired by the aspirant. So that is another incredible mercy, because normally any Vedic process has very exacting demands. You should be sitting in a certain position, you should be facing a certain direction, you need to chant the mantras in a particular meter, you need to offer these type of grains, you need to do it in this order. There are so many rules and regulations, right? But for chanting, there is no such thing. It doesn't depend on any particular place, time, condition, or purity of the heart. And it can award the results. So this is from Vishnu Dharma. For one in whose heart Lord Govinda is situated, the age of Kali is Satya Yuga. And for one in whose heart Lord Achyuta is not present, the age of Satya. So most people, want or desire for the peace of Satya Yuga in this age, right? People say, oh, it will be nice if we had Ramaraj. You want to go, but it is possible. It is possible to experience the same level of peace and happiness that people experienced in Satya Yuga in this age. The only condition is we should have Lord Krishna in our heart. That is the only way. If we remember him constantly in our heart, then we will achieve. Now one may say, that all sounds good, but it is not possible for me to have the Lord in my heart all the time, right? What if I have a lot of other desires that prevent me from thinking about the Lord? So Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, Verse 11 has this answer. O King, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of the great authorities is the doubtless and fearless way of success for all, including those who are free from all material desires and also those who are desirous of all material enjoyment, as well as those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge. So Srila Sridhar Swami comments on this above verse. There is no method more beneficial than singing the Lord's names, both for practitioners and for those who have already attained perfection. Sri Shukadev Goswami speaks this verse just to make this clear. For those desiring material enjoyment, singing the Lord's names is the very means by which their desires can be fulfilled. For those who seek liberation, this alone is the means of salvation. And for those who seek knowledge of the Absolute, this also has been determined as the goal. By saying that this has already been concluded, it indicates that there is no need for further evidence in this regard. So no matter what your desire is, whether you want wealth, whether you want liberation, whether you want more spiritual knowledge, this congregational chanting helps you get there. It purifies you and gets there. And it doesn't matter what the state of our heart is. It is independent of that. So quickly to summarize, right? If we accept or we can understand, our first job is to understand that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. So if we are this body, we know we come from our parents. If we are not this body, where does the spirit soul come from? Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham bija pradhapita, that I am the seed-giving father. So we come from the Supreme Lord Krishna. He also says, Mamevamsho jiva loke in the Bhagavad Gita, that all spirit souls are a part and parcel of him. They come from the Supreme Lord. So we know if we know who we are and we know where we come from, then our next question should be, how do we serve our source? How do we serve that Supreme? And one of the most powerful and effective ways is by chanting the Lord's names. And by doing it in a group, you get even stronger effect like we saw. And this effect of the results of congregational chanting is equivalent to or even more powerful than the other methods that were in the other ages. So even though it is a very simple method, there are no rules and regulations. There is no pre-qualification needed either, right? If you want to do a yajna or worship a deity in a temple, there are a lot of qualifications needed. So there are no qualifications needed. Anybody and everybody can do. Easy, highly effective process and accessible to everybody. Now somebody may say, okay, that all sounds good, but I want to be more selfless. I want to serve everybody. I don't want to be very selfish and focused only on my own growth, right? Many times this is given that when you chant, you're just focused on your gain. You're not helping the society. You're not doing anything for welfare. So let's talk about that angle as well. Again, as always, scriptural reference. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 5, verse 32. In the age of Kali Yuga, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Again in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 6, verse 26, Narada Muni is describing his experience, right? After being instructed by the Lord, he's saying, thus I began chanting the holy name and fame of the Lord. By repeated recitation, ignoring all the formalities of the material world, such chanting and remembering of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are benedictory. So doing, I traveled all over the earth, fully satisfied, humble, and unenvious. So this process of congregational chanting was emphasized by the Supreme Lord himself, as we saw from that verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, for this age of Kali. Prabhupada gave one example in one of his lectures. So this was one professional Bhagavatam reciter was reciting Bhagavatam. And it so happened that a thief was in the audience. And he heard the section where the reciter was saying, the Supreme Lord, or Krishna, who is a small boy, was fully wearing all these valuable jewels and everything, and he would go into the forest and he would graze the cows, tend to the cows. So this thief is thinking, oh, this is like a jackpot for me. A small boy, full of wealthy things, full of highly valuable jewels, is walking into the forest. I don't even have to bring him anywhere. No witnesses, nothing. Perfect, right? Perfect opportunity for crime. So he says, I am going to go find this Krishna. So he gets up and he starts heading to Vrindavan to find this Krishna. And throughout, as he is going in his heart, he's constantly thinking, I have to find Krishna, I want to find Krishna, I want to see Krishna, I want to see Krishna, all the way there. So the Supreme Lord, see how merciful he is. He's thinking, oh, my son wants to see me, so I will make myself appear. Right? So he appeared. He went there and he saw the Supreme Lord in Vrindavan, fully dressed the way he desired. He saw Krishna. And he goes to Krishna and he says, he starts talking. He's trying to establish a relationship. So he says, oh, you're such a sweet, sweet boy. You look so beautiful, so nice. He praises him. He tries to become friends with him. And then after talking to him for a bit, he says, why don't you give me all your ornaments, your jewelry? I'll hold it for you. So Krishna is a small boy, right? That's the form. So he's like, no. Maya will scold me if I take this off. So I have to keep this on and I have to go. So he says, okay. And he continues talking. And towards the end of it, Krishna then tells him, now do you want my jewelry? And he says, no. Right? Because he's become purified. By seeing the Supreme Lord and associating with him, he has become purified. His desires are no longer material. So Prabhupada says, somehow or other, one must come in contact with the Supreme Lord. Only then will we be purified. Many times we think we are not pure, so we shouldn't do anything. No, that is not the case. Most of us don't think that, but you may think you're not ready. Especially once you start doing bhakti, you will feel that. But Krishna reciprocates. Because that desire, he reciprocates to that desire to him. There is even a song, right? Krishna doesn't come, right? You don't see the Lord because you don't call out to the Lord with the need, right? It's actually true. If you think about the Lord and all you desire is to see him, you can see him. So we should not say, show me God and then I will do bhakti. That is foolishness. If I tell you, don't apply for this government document till you see Mark Carney. Is that a reasonable expectation? If once Mark Carney, who is just the head of one country, is difficult to go see, imagine the Supreme Lord, who is the creator of this entire, not just this universe, millions of universes and spiritual worlds and everything. How much qualification we would need to see him, right? So, if I told you on the flip side, you can go meet Mark Carney if you do these 15 things, we would do it, right? For the opportunity to meet him. Congregational chanting is one of the things that we can do to meet the Supreme Lord. If we have a pure desire to see him, then by chanting we can achieve that results. So, the mechanics of how that attraction comes is what we're going to talk about briefly, right? So the sound of the holy names, it enters the ears and then passes through the mind. And when it reaches the mind interprets it as something attractive, right? For most people, when they hear chanting of the name and the melody, they're like, oh, this sounds so nice, right? But that vibration goes deeper into the intelligence until it reaches the soul. The soul then starts to reciprocate or reverberates with the love that is invoked. When you hear the Lord's name, a certain feelings are invoked in our heart. That love, even if it is not pure love, even if it is a reflection of the love, then that captures the soul. Once that attraction happens, the soul wants to dive deeper into it. Because the soul gets pleasure from spiritual things, not from material things. Right? So this is a spiritual, and it focuses on chanting and singing of the holy names. Now, our acharyas have emphasized many times that it is not how melodious the singing is, how good the instrument playing is, how nice the tune is. None of that matters as much. What matters is that the love for Lord Krishna that the Kirtan leaders inject into the vibration of the holy names. That inspires the listeners to become part of the singing, right? Srila Prabhupada explained this in a lecture for Bhagavad Gita 7.1, that in leading a kirtana, our first business is to please Krishna. Then we give the crowd Krishna, which will then please the participants. This actually reflects on a pretty common or accepted thing. If music is considered to be a universal language, right? All of us can more or less accept that, because music can capture moods, emotions, it can capture longings, inspirations. All these various feelings can be captured in just the music alone. Whether you understand the language of the words or not, really, if you understand it, it will be deeper. But even if you don't, you still feel some effect of it, right? And when that language itself is transcendental, which is the Lord's names, the spiritual vibration of the Lord's names qualities, the music, you sometimes feel like you're home, right? You feel like you've come home. You have arrived at a place that you have been searching for many, many lifetimes. That is the divine love that we can experience in connecting with the Supreme Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 2, Verse 40 says, by chanting the holy name of the Supreme Lord, one comes to the stage of love of Godhead. Then the devotee is fixed in his vow as an eternal servant of the Lord, and he gradually becomes very much attached to a particular name and form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As his heart melts with ecstatic love, he laughs very loudly or cries or shouts. Sometimes he sings and dances like a madman, for he is indifferent to public opinion. So, by chanting, in fact, it starts with hearing. By hearing the names being chanted, you enjoy it so much that you start participating and you start singing with them. So when you do hearing and chanting on a consistent basis, then you will start off the process of finally developing love for the Supreme Lord in our hearts. So no matter where we are now, if we participate in this process of hearing and chanting, then we get to it. So do we want to, shall we hear one more benefit? This is an incredible one. This is from Anucheda 264 of Jiva Goswami that he has written, says that the effect of chanting or singing the Lord's names also grants one direct experience of Lord's attributes. Through this process, it opens the channels for direct experience and realization. So Jiva Goswami continues in Anucheda 269, in the Skanda Puran it is said, O king, Lord Hari goes wherever stories about him and his devotees are sung, just as a cow follows her calf out of great affection. What a wonderful thought, right? This is from Skanda Puran. We think we need to chase after the Lord because that is what we are used to, chasing after powerful people, rich people and all that. But the Lord loves us so much that if we talk about him, we sing about him, then he comes. How? Just like a cow follows a calf instinctively, right? In the same way, the Supreme Lord comes. That is another wonderful benefit of chanting the Lord's names. As the devotee becomes qualified for the Lord to enter his or her heart, so does the recitation or singing of the holy name become more potent and attractive. Right? The love within the heart of a devotee is what makes the Sankirtana such a beautiful experience for those who hear. The more love is, the more strongly the Lord will manifest in their hearts, and that will be reflected in the effect of that chanting in the listener's ears. And everybody becomes almost enlivened by this spiritual vibration. So to sort of conclude with like a headlining reference, if you will, this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 25, chapter 25, verse 30. In this age of Kali, one cannot attain liberation without taking to the devotional service of the Lord. In this age, even if one chants the holy name of Krishna imperfectly, he still attains liberation very easily. We all want to be happy. We all want a quick and easy way to get that happiness. This is it. This is the only way, right? I read so many scriptural references just to emphasize that this is not an opinion or a thought. Scriptures have very clearly described that this is the only way for all of us to get happiness that is eternal, and not just eternal, ever increasing happiness. The joy just keeps on increasing. And that is what Prabhupada has given to everybody through congregational chanting. So those who pass by and hear the Lord's names on the street, even if they don't do anything about it, that seed has sown. And that will fructify at some point or other. Because attraction starts from hearing. There are many scriptural references, many more points that we can go into, but I'll pause here. Any questions or comments?
Prabhuji, can you explain to devotees why we do hands up and say Hare Krishna, and newcomers,
Yeah.
They're asking me.
Yeah.
And here I was telling to online, but you can explain here also.
Yeah. So if you see, what does hands up signify universally? Surrender, right? Say, okay, I will do what you say, right? So we've all seen it in movies, and hopefully not in real life, but we've seen it in movies and everywhere. That somebody points a weapon, your life is at threat, effect. That physical action helps And it starts off one virtuous cycle where when you raise your arms and you say Hare Krishna, you're like, somehow or the other your heart will have a little bit of a feeling that I'm surrendering to you. Please guide me, please help me. Right? That is the intent. So physical actions have a lot of meaning. There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says that one must pay obeisances. Manmana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Right? He says you should pay obeisances. Why? It's just a physical act. Even if you don't feel it an ounce, when you do that and you keep doing that over a period of time, your heart will follow. It is a very it's a very uniquely powerful experience, right? When we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, that's why they've raised their hands. Because in their form, they are fully surrendered, obviously. They're pure, so they are able to. They're showing us that path of how we should also be surrendered. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. So it's our small way of getting started on that path. That's the purpose of raising our hands. Is that okay? Thank you, Mataji. Any other questions or comments?
So there is no any like strict rules for chanting the name of the Lord in this age.
Yeah, there are no strict rules. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in the Shikshashtakam too that there are no hard and fast rules for chanting. He says that, and that is by design. It is simply by the mercy of Krishna, because he knows if he puts any rules, most of us or many people who are trying to follow will not even try. They go, oh, I have to meet this rule, only then I can chant. That is too much trouble, and they'll leave it. So in order to make sure that all his children, no matter what their state is, they get the effect, they are able to participate, he made it without any rules or regulations. And we also saw from the other Puranas as well today that there are no rules. Kanda Purana, I think I read from, which said there are no rules. Sure.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. You mentioned a very beautiful example of the government position and Mark Gurney. If I have to think, with your permission, an average person do know who Mark Gurney is. Doesn't have to read. But Krishna, it's something some people don't know. People don't know he exists. So like people may not have to meet Mark Gurney, but they know Mark Gurney. Some people don't know Krishna. So
we all have a limited capacity, mental, time, resources. We have a limited capacity. What do we learn? What do we know? Whatever interests us. To be very blunt, if we were not trying to move or live in Canada, move to Canada or live in Canada, would we care who the Prime Minister of Canada is? Right? Not really. Whichever place we want to go to, wherever we want to go to, we research, we find out, and we get that knowledge. So the scriptures have explained, right? So once you have to, first thing you need to do is understand that you are not able to get pleasure you want from material things. Unless you come to that, it is very difficult for you to learn spiritual things. Because most people say, this is very common, they say, oh, young age is all for working hard. When you become 60, 65, whatever, then you start doing bhakti. That time is all for bhajan. Now you need to contribute doing bhakti. That time is all for bhajan. Now you need to contribute. You need to earn money, whatever. Right? But that is very flawed logic. Because we have all seen, right? Become poor. There are rich people who are not happy. There are so many examples are there. Right? So we have to first accept that material things cannot give us pleasure. Because whatever path that the society prescribes, you need to study, you need to get high marks, you need to get here, that doesn't give There are people who have done it and they haven't gotten happiness out of it. So we have to say, okay, there must be something else. What is something else? And then you have to start looking at, okay, where does this happiness come from? Okay, if it comes from wealth in your mind, okay, where does wealth come from? Who gives us that wealth? You have to look around and then you have to see beyond that. Otherwise, what tends to happen? Then that's when you start looking at scriptures. When you look at scriptures, it leads you to the Supreme Lord. Until you get to that point, you will not know. That is a very normal state.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah. If that's all, then thank you. If you have any questions, we can talk after during prasadam as well. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Please forgive me if I misspoke something. It's on.
Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatadishatarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
gratitude to the Supreme Lord. Mahaprasad, please repeat after me. Mahaprasade Govinde.
Mahaprasade Govinde.
Namo Brahmane Vaishnave.
Namo
Brahmane Vaishnave.
Swalpa Punyavatam Rajan.
Swalpa Punyavatam Rajan.
Vishwaso Neva Jayate.
Vishwaso Neva Jayate. Sharira Vidyajat.
Jodindriyata Heka.
Jodindriya Kaheka.
Jive Tare Vishaya Sagre.
Sagre.
Tar Madhye Jivati.
Tarmate Jivati.
Lokho Moy Sudurmati.
Loko Moy Sudharmati.
Take Jeta Katina Samsare.
Take Jeta Katina Samsare.
Krishna Baradoya Moy.
Krishna Bada Doya Moy.
Gori Bari Jigva Jai.
Gori Vai Jiva Jai.
Swaprasada Nadilo Bhai.
Saprasada Ladi Rupai.
Seyanamrita Pao.
Seyana Vrida Pao.
Radha Krishna Guna Gao.
Radha Krishna Guna Gao.
Preme Dako Chaitanya Nitai.
Preme Dako Chaitanya Titai.
Jaini Mai Jaini Tai.
Jaini Mai Jaini Tai.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara.
Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Mahaprasadam ki
Jai.
Please you can go have prasad.
You have not introduced.
Hare Krishna. We see a few new faces today. Yash and Shraddha, although I know you, could you please introduce yourself to the congregation and say a little bit about how you found out about ISKCON Windsor Temple program and what was the experience today?
Since we started in Windsor, I think we've been with you guys.
Yes.
Right? But this is first time we were part of the bhakti as well. And Guruji mentioned one thing I would like to mention in front
Sure.
of everyone. So when I was in Ukraine, remember you told us that first you start from listening and you see
Yeah.
people doing it. So trust me, that's how it all started. When I went Ukraine, I didn't have any idea about Krishna or
Yeah.
anything. I'm Jain actually.
Yeah.
So in Ukraine, there is a big community
Yes.
on the road in Europe,
Yes.
right? So we were seeing them doing, and
Yeah.
then we were like, oh, this is an Indian thing. People are doing in Ukraine, so that's how we formed the ISKCON. And I started going in Ukraine with our friends. And
Jai.
So happy that
I think that's all coming around, and that's how I heard here, and
Yeah.
we are part, and I'm hoping that even in Windsor, white people will join us soon, and they will be a part. Because
It's a universal language.
Yes, it is.
Keep baking great cakes for us and we'll have everybody join in Windsor.
They have been part of our congregation every time we have.
Yes, so just so that everybody watching us in live as well as everybody present here, they own Ram Bharose and they've been a part of our congregation from right in the beginning, and they've joined us today for the whole program. So that's great. Thank you so much for your seva. Such wonderful seva you've been doing from the beginning. Thank you so much, both of you. Shraddha, on to you now. I know you have a little bit of a history with ISKCON, so.
Yes, since childhood my father always used to take me to the ISKCON temple in India.
Okay.
And the moment I came here, I was looking for ISKCON. I know there is one temple in Toronto, but I've never been there. Trying, but never got a chance. But when I heard that you have started here, I was so happy.
Jai, Hari Bol. Thank you so much for joining today. Hari Bol. Do we have anybody else who's new? No. All right, well, thank you so much for joining the temple program today. And this was our first temple program for 2026. May Sri Radha Krishna and Prabhupada's mercy be on us to continue this for years to come. And all glories to all the assembled devotees here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, Happy New Year.